Don't wait for signal. No, don't patrol. Default behavior is dock and wait. Oh, cool. Maybe that is actually good. Let's see. Wow, look how fast he docks. It's in like 5 seconds. That's so much better. Yeah, weapon components. Okay, so we want to buy weapon. I can't trade here. Oh, transfer wares. Flares, satellite, Mako, courier. Oh, I can transfer? Oh, okay, so... No, not in the Mako. I want you... Oh, no, the satellites. Yeah, the satellites I want. But, oh, no, that's fine. So the trade... Oh, I guess I have to be in the seat. Yeah. Trade. And I am looking for weapon components. Oh, I'm full? Wait, I'm full. Well, let's go. Let's just go sell whatever I've got. Oh, ew.
Hello there.
You're cheap.
Sorry,
I
I'm
want.
busy right now.
Aww. I don't have another ship for her anyway. Oh wait, maybe I do. I mean, am I full? I don't know. Are you hireable? Why won't you talk to me?
Hello there.
Nope.
Good luck out there.
You too. Okay, so we are going to the trader. Oh, what's this? I am being attacked. Why am I being attacked? Screw you, demon. I shall fight you.
Can I help? Here you go.
Oof. It's lossless is doing that. Yeah, it is lossless. Maybe lossless is too high. Maybe that'll be better. Mixed fruit. Oh no, oops. No, I don't have anything to sell at all. This is all stuff. Now,
Good luck out there.
autosave. Yeah, that's better. VSync it. Oh, I best rest, I guess. I need to fight my way that direction.
Hello.
Oh, lossless is causing a lot of frame drops and stuff. What happened here? I can't move. There.
Can I help? Here you go. Good luck out there.
The ship will be undocking soon.
I lost the ship. God damn it, man. We'll go back. God damn it, man. I'm learning that keeping multiple ships just gets them killed and they don't do anything anyways. So I'm just gonna put them away now. They don't protect you. They don't shoot your targets. They don't do anything at all. I like Export Foundations, but it's got terrible, terrible AI flaws. Because the game's like 9 years old. Back then, they didn't have AI that could do well. I wish they would make an X5 now. Oops. So Bez. Yeah, we're gonna go to combination of Bez. Yeah. There it is. will try to drop a load.
Mako.
Okay, so I love you guys, but you're worthless. I'm going to put you away now. So, because you don't fight, you don't protect me, you're just a liability, essentially. All you represent to me is personal ships, and that is just so worthless to me. I mean, I don't understand why you would make it that worthless, but okay. So yeah, I see that the developer can't really reach what they want to do totally, but that's because their AI back then wasn't that good. Kalisto Sentinel needs to dock up and wait. Elite Vanguard needs to dock up and wait at the Argon Wharf. I want to break fleet. Remove all orders and assignments. Yep. Information. Whole position. Why do I hear things? Uh-oh. Well, at least I have health. No water god too. You targeted the wrong thing. God damn it. There. I best drain. That was not enough. Can I steal something from him? I don't think so. Oh, I can. Oh, you can steal tears from them? I didn't know that. I want to fight the Evil Eyes then. Tears are good. What?! 300 damage from Eyes on Me! Oh my god, I can't believe you got it too. It's because I have the wrong sub. It's what I get. I can't fight these Eyes. What the fuck was that? I don't have any heals or anything at all. I can fight elementals, but I can't fight Eyes. They just kill you. It's annoying. Oh, I can't believe you just pulled out 300 damage out of nowhere. You're so annoying. It's my fault. I had the wrong sub. All the XP I got incidentally is just, it's good enough anyways. And I made some money, so yeah, whatever. It's like trading XP for Gil. It's not really that good, but it's not bad either. Yeah, we'll just put those things away for later. In the Mog House we will craft. I'm learning how to play this game better. Now I want to save since I got these guys to do what they did. There's more money, which is good. I wonder if I can tell my ship to mine. Is that possible? Or not mine, but, So let's take a look at your behavior, and we will set the behavior of... fill shortages of what's currently in my thing. What's currently in this ship? What's in this ship? Fill shortages, huh? I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Nice. Yeah, do my game for me.
Hello there.
Yeah, what is your piloting skill now? Half? That's not bad. Okay. He can't do it, can he? His AI is just completely broken. Alright, well, so you're too stupid to do that. Select sector or object. This isn't working, is it? Ugh. Oh, at night. It's good. I thought I would get jumped immediately, but nope. Oh my god, Lotro takes so long. There, that worked, I think. I guess you can't tell your own personal ship to do anything because the AI is this glitchy. Look, it just breaks. Like, I think this works if you're. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Let's see if I can just sit on a station. I think I can. So I want you to take me home to Argonne Wharf. Cool. Man, Lotra is the slowest install I've ever witnessed in my entire life. Jesus Christ. Oh, shit, oops.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, I do want to repair this ship, yeah. Oh, I don't need to repair. Oh, yeah, because I didn't go fight. Yeah. Can I not transfer wares? No. Two crewmen, 8 satellite. So if I set the behavior of this thing, and we look at this and we see dock and wait.
I'll wait for you to tell me to take off. I'll wait for you to tell me to take off.
We would like to remind visitors that dropping litter anywhere other than an approved recycling station carries an automatic 500 credit fine.
Can I help? Can I help? Goodbye.
Do not wave at the station's security cameras. Distracted operators lead to undetected crime.
Save.
Do not wave at the station's security cameras. Distracted operators lead to undetected crime.
Elite. Vanguard.
I knew I could count on you.
I knew I could count on you.
I knew I could count on you.
Thank you for your confidence in me. Thank you for your confidence in me.
Mm-hmm.
We have reports of an outbreak of argon flu in this sector. Would all visitors please report to the medic bay for inoculation?
Hello.
Requesting permission to dock. Spotted. Docking permission granted.
Going to get something to eat, I think. I'll be right back.
world-class athlete, it also requires you to be a professional. Professional wrestling is unlike any other sport because not only does it require you to be a world-class athlete, it also requires you to be a professional pretender. The WWE and adjacent organizations are essentially an action-packed reality TV show, with scripted monologues, pre-planned match results, and wrestlers acting as larger-than-life heroes or ruthless supervillains. Terry Jean Bollea played the character of Hulk Hogan, an all-American gladiator who could destroy any man, no matter how big or strong. To say he was a superstar is an understatement. For the better part of a decade, he was the face of the entire industry. Now, being a celebrity is already going to create ego problems. It's hard to remain humble and honest when people treat you as larger than life. But with Hogan, it goes a step further. Most method actors work on a role for a few years maximum, and then they are able to go back to real life or transition to a new film role. But Hulk Hogan has played the same exact character for 35 years. Every match he wrestled to every word he spoke was a carefully crafted novel from a team of writers shaping the public's perception.
The character of Hulk Hogan is impeccable. It always has been. There are no holes in this character at all.
Unfortunately, every part of his life that he could not control with his team of writers came crashing down. From ruthless cheating on his wife with his daughter's best friend, to getting caught admitting to being a full-blown racist, to nearly having his entire legacy erased from the history books. Hulk Hogan got so caught up in his endless lies that it destroyed his reality. This is how it happened. Terry was raised in Tampa, Florida, where he started watching professional wrestling on TV after school, admiring the brute force he'd see on screen. Although he enjoyed the spectacle, Terry was still focusing on high school baseball. He often talks about how he was on his way to making it big, that is, until his body reached its limit.
I was scouted in 10th and 11th grade by the Cincinnati Reds and New York Yankees. I pitched and played third base, and a guy stepped outside the box and he hit the ball in the handle, and as the ball dribbled down to third base line, I picked it up and I threw it underhanded to first base, and I broke that cap off my elbow. They put a cast on my arm and that cap went back on, but after that my pitching arm was screwed from third base. I didn't have the same arm.
Since Hogan became such a superstar, one would assume that there would be some sort of confirmation from the Yankees or Reds that they were once scouting the wrestling phenom. However, there is no proof that that ever happened. It became a theme in Hogan's life to embellish or exaggerate stories so much so that people stopped believing any word he says. One of his favorite stories is how he almost played bass guitar for Metallica. After his baseball career came to a screeching halt, Terry decided to pursue music, spending a decade playing fretless bass guitar in several Florida-based rock bands. By 1976, he formed a band called Ruckus with 2 local musicians. He even claimed he was so good, one of the most legendary rock bands of all time recruited him. I used to be a session musician before I was a wrestler. I played bass guitar. I was big pals with Lars Ulrich, and he asked me if I wanted to play bass with Metallica in their early days, but it didn't work out. Just a few days after Hogan said this, Lars Ulrich went on the Howard Stern show and said that he has a photographic memory, but I certainly have no recollection of doing anything with, quote, Hulk Hogan, end quote. After Lars called out Hogan's lie, the Hulk drastically changed his story.
Metallica needed a bass player, and I thought, oh my God, would I love to be in Metallica, so I put the word out everywhere. I wanted to get an audition to be in Metallica. Never heard from them either.
Perhaps Hogan became accustomed to scripting his persona in his career that he tried to boost up his real-life story a bit. Sure, this could be seen as harmless exaggerations, but this bad habit would slowly leak into almost every facet of his life, and eventually lead to his demise. Have you ever Googled your name and seen yourself on one of those strange sites that has way too much information about you? Feels pretty weird. I'd really rather that kind of stuff wasn't available to anyone who's looking for it. Data brokers are making tons of money selling your information to robocallers and spammers. In the past year, there was a breach of the national public data. The incident compromised over 2.9 billion records used for background checks, including critical personal information such as full names, addresses, dates of birth, phone numbers, and most importantly, social security numbers. That's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. Aura can find the data brokers that are sharing your information. These brokers are legally required to remove your info if you ask them to, however, they make it very difficult to do so. That's where Aura comes in and submits opt-out requests for you. You can try Aura free for 2 weeks using my link, aura.com/patrickcc. Aura has many other features to protect you and your family, like antivirus, VPN, parental controls, password management, identity theft, and more. Aura has them all in one place, and you get everything for one affordable price. I have a ton of passwords for all my different accounts, and Aura's password manager is a lifesaver. It helps me keep them all organized and will even let me know if any of them have been compromised. Their spam call protection is great too. Nobody likes those random numbers and scammy texts. I'm not leaving myself and my family vulnerable to data breaches and brokers, and if you don't want to either, you can go to aura.com/patrickcc to try 2 weeks for free. That will be enough time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data is exposed. Thanks, Aura. When he wasn't absolutely shredding the bass guitar, Terry spent the rest of his days getting shredded at Hector's gym in Tampa, Florida. He encountered many wrestlers from the Florida region who frequented the bars where he performed. I started playing in this kick-ass rock and roll band, and a couple wrestlers came into the show. Then a couple of nights later, even more came in, because they had told each other that there was this kick-ass band, and because there was a kick-ass band, there was all this hot ass running around, you know? All of a sudden, before I knew it, there was a bunch of wrestlers at our gigs. These were regional wrestlers who would wrestle in Tampa, Miami, Orlando, and Tallahassee, so they'd come back to Tampa every night, where we would all be playing till 3 a.m. in the morning. Notable attendees included Jack and Gerald Briscoe, better known as the Briscoe Brothers, a tag team wrestling duo in the area. In 1976, the Briscoe brothers encouraged Hogan to pursue wrestling after being impressed by his growing physical stature, and in 1977, Hogan embarked on his rookie season as a wrestler. Hulk said in his 2010 autobiography that Elvis Presley was a huge fan of his at the time, but Elvis died 11 days after Hogan's first match in 1977, and that match was not in Memphis, Tennessee, which is where Elvis was. Terry didn't actually
come on, are you serious? This is why I don't lie. People can just go check. People can just go check. They can just go check my achievements. They can go check. Like, you know, like I don't lie. I don't need to lie.
To a full-blown wrestling career until 1979 when he adopted the stage name Terry the Hulk Boulder. Spending his early years on the independent circuit, he then appeared in various wrestling promotions, including a brief stint in the WWF, before settling in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he made a name for himself.
New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again.
毎日毎日日立の細長静かサラサラ綺麗な空気
And while Hogan was growing his brand,
What?
WWF, before settling in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he made a name for himself.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again.
毎日
Sunday,
毎
Monday,
日
Tuesday.
Maybe he was in line for Metallica, though. I don't know. He seems like classically trained musically, though. I don't know. He's singing like a classically trained musician.
日立の細長静かサラサラ綺麗な空気
While Hogan was
Oh no, let's see if we can find the source material. I might have to send this to my friends. Oh no. Oh no!
Sunday, Monday,
Yes!
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again.
毎日
Sunday,
毎
Monday,
日
Tuesday,
日立の
Wednesday,
細長
Thursday,
静
Friday,
か
Saturday,
サラサラ
Sunday comes again.
綺麗な空気体には細長が気持ちいいんです日立のビッグフローウェルネス
Oh no, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This isn't DMCA, is it? I don't think it is. I don't know. They'll tell me. They'll be like, you can't watch this, and they'll block it. It's fine. What am I doing? I'm texting this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Autopilot disengaged.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday,
It's catchy.
Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again.
毎日
Sunday,
毎
Monday,
日
Tuesday,
日立の
Wednesday,
細長
Thursday,
な
Thursday,
静
Friday,
か
Saturday,
サラサラ
Sunday comes again.
きれいな空気体には細長が気持ちいいんです日立のビッグフローウェルネス
Okay. You think you've seen it all.
Was growing his brand in East Asia, he claimed in his autobiography, My Life Outside the Ring, that his work in the region allowed him to wrestle 400 days per year. If I say
Oh yeah, did it? He means this. It's every day. And then a bunch after that, too. Why won't you start?
wrestled 400 days a year, it's no exaggeration. My years were
Yes, it
actually
is.
longer than 365
Oh,
days. There were
oh.
times when I'd fly back and
Yeah,
forth to Japan
yeah, I
twice a
think he
week
probably
just
is
to
right.
wrestle. Now, it was
Yeah.
nothing to wrestle in Madison Square Garden one day, then fly all the way to the Egg Dome
Yeah,
in
he's got a
Tokyo the
point.
same day, because you'd gain 14 hours and then fly back to the West Coast and so on. So I could wrestle in Japan
You did
today
not travel
and then
in
fly
time.
back across the international date line
Why
and
won't you
land in
pause?
another town
You just
yesterday.
won't pause?
I
You
was
just
constantly
won't do it. You won't pause? No?
adding days to my year.
Oh, you're so annoying. You did not travel through time like Superman, traveling all over the earth, spinning it forward or whatever. You did not gain fucking 35 days, Hulk Hogan, as you were flying around the world. You lost 35 days. You did not gain 35 days.
Now, there are no records of Hogan wrestling in Madison Square Garden one day and then the Egg Dome the day after. Now, it's unclear if Hogan was serious or just trying to make a silly exaggeration, but his wrestling 400 days per year has become a meme to poke fun at his relentless lies. Regardless, it's safe to say that Hogan was a huge star in the wrestling world. At the time, the United States had defined territories that different wrestling federations controlled. Hogan was one of the few who wrestled in basically every territory. He was able to help draw new interest locally and sell tickets since he was a national star. He said in his autobiography that he was the first wrestler to walk out to the ring to music, revolutionizing the sport. But Sergeant Slaughter, Chris Colt, Mildred Burke, and wrestlers from the 50s and 60s had entrance music. However, major changes were on the horizon. Vince McMahon bought the WWF from his father, the territory that controlled the northeast sector of the US. Vince was planning an all-out takeover of the entire industry. His vision was to sign the best and most popular wrestlers exclusively to the WWF, so they could not wrestle in any other promotion but his own. Although this is extremely common today, back then it was seen as a merciless business practice intended to dismantle the wrestling industry and create one giant monopoly. And as we all know, It worked, but after Hogan's acting role in Rocky III, he became a mainstream superstar, and at that moment, Vince McMahon knew who the face of the WWF was going to be. Terry established himself as a fan favorite, and within 1 month, he won his first WWF World Heavyweight Championship at Madison Square Garden. From there, his takeover was in full effect. He was headlining WWF events every night to sold-out crowds across the Northeast, continuing to amplify his superstardom.
I feel no pain. I fear no man.
In his interviews, Hogan often
Lots of
referred to his
cocaine,
fans
lots of
as
speed.
Hulkamaniacs, and introduced his 3 demandments: training, saying prayers, and eating vitamins. Over time, he added a 4th demandment: believing in oneself. Hulk was larger than life, physically and metaphorically. He stood at a staggering 6
Or
foot
believe
7
in
inches
oneself.
tall and weighed 295
Wait, I want to
pounds.
see the Hulk
He's
commandment.
believing in oneself.
Oh, the 4 demandments of Hulkmania. Why didn't you just say Hulk demandment? It would have been way better. Hulk demandment. It actually rolls off the tongue. Hulk demandment. The 4 demandments of Hulkmania: train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and believe in yourself. Which, I suppose, for good Christian kids, those aren't the worst messages.
Hulk was larger
But everybody else, I guess they don't really maybe qualify.
than life, physically and metaphorically. He stood at a staggering 6 foot 7 inches tall and weighed 295 pounds with 24-inch biceps, all while containing a superstar aura that he described as being similar to a cult leader.
Hulkamania?
Hulkamania?
Hulkamania.
If you want me to. What is Hulkamania?
Well, Hulkamania is the newest thing, Johnny. It's the thing that is sweeping the country. I'm sure some of these guys over here might know about it. It's like a new cult. And it's like follow the leader. Everybody does what the Hulkster does. It's like truth, justice, and the Hulk Hogan way.
Hogan's image was plastered on action figures, lunchboxes, and video games, making him a pop culture phenomenon and one of the most recognizable figures worldwide.
He was a really good idol. If you leave his personal life out of it, he was a really strong idol for kids.
He was named
Everything that he got legitimately. Everything that he got, he fought for legitimately. He was there in front of the camera for 30 years or something like that. Every dollar that he got, he earned. He was a really, really good idol for kids.
the most requested
If you leave his personal life out of it.
celebrity of the 1980s.
Which I always do. I don't really know why the fuck we care about their personal lives. I've never understood it. Just because they're idols doesn't mean that they can't have fucked up personal lives and maybe drug addictions or cheat on their wives and stuff. Everybody's human. The Hulkamania's image is not the same thing as Gene Hogan or whatever his name is.
80s for the Make-A-Wish Foundation's children's charity, being featured on the covers of
Terry
Sports Illustrated,
Pratchett,
TV
I don't know
Guide,
what his
and
name
People
is.
magazine, while also having his own CBA Saturday morning cartoon titled Hulk Hogan's Rockin'
That's the weird thing about him, is you don't know what his name is.
Wrestling.
Everything about this is completely a construct, and that's what they're getting at. But we all knew this. I mean, it's wrestling. Even wrestling itself is a construct that we believe in. It isn't technically a sport, really. It is. Wrestling is a sport, but it's not a national sport. I mean, I guess it is a national sport, sort of. I don't want to delegitimize it. I'm just saying that most times a 1v1 sport has rules. And I don't really think wrestling has rules, does it?
He was officially the
So I want to delegitimize it, but so many people believe in it, and it's been around since the ancient Greek era. It is a legitimate sport. It's just, but I mean, is there any rules? What's to stop you from essentially just crushing a man's nuts with your knee or whatever as you take him down? I don't know. Like there's especially in his line of work, there was no rules. They were hitting each other with fucking chairs and stuff like this, and so I don't know. To legitimize it as a sport, difficult for me. I'm not saying it isn't, because obviously it's been for 50 years. It's just, is there any rules? Can you call a sport if it doesn't have rules?
face of professional wrestling. Hogan and Vince McMahon.
There's like tapping out, but there's and I suppose there's like judges and rules.
McMahon developed a very...
I mean, I guess, right? I think wrestling does have a very rigid set of rules. I'm fairly sure. The leagues have rules. I'm fairly sure they do. So... But, I mean, aren't they allowed to hit each other with chairs and stuff? Is that rules, really? They call that, like, cage match or something. I'm not sure. Is cage match rules? It was such a weird sport.
Relationship. Even though Vince was a ruthless businessman who often took advantage of his wrestling.
Yeah, we've done a lot of Vince on my channel. Vince was a fucking asshole. Like, I don't know him. I'm sure he's a nice guy or whatever. But... his personal life.
Hogan seemed to protect the interests of the corrupt CEO rather than his fellow co-workers.
I mean,
at least
that's what you do.
WWE Hall of
that's
Famer
what you
Jesse
do.
Ventura says.
You and Hulk.
You protect your boss. That's what you do.
What's the likelihood of that ever being repaired?
Never.
Never.
What?
Can't trust him. And he's the one that ratted me to Vince when I tried to unionize. I found that out under federal deposition when Vince was put under sword. And he didn't hesitate at all. I told my lawyer the story, and in deposition you could ask about anything. And so I wanted to know who ratted me in the locker room, because there were no agents, no one from the office was in there when I did it. So it had to be one of the boys. And when my
yep, surprises me not at all.
Has there ever been a union in wrestling?
But they're all catty. They all act like girls. You know, it sucks, but like, you know, there's this old song by Eminem called "Girls," and it's a diss track. It's a battle rap against Limp Bizkit, and it's like, "Girls, you all act like girls. Why do you act this way?" And he's like, keep rolling, and all this stuff, right? And he's like, he's making fun of Fred Durst because he hates Fred Durst. I don't blame him, whatever. I like Fred Durst, but I don't know Fred Durst. Eminem might actually know him. I don't know. But anyways, it's cold in here. It's like 40 degrees in here. I'm fucking freezing. What was I going to say? Maybe I'll put on my jacket tonight because it is really fucking cold in here. I'll be right back. I'm going to take a piss and put on my jacket. I'll be right back. So Eminem and girls. Okay, my jacket. Oh, cool. Let's get the blanket on. Better. So, I'm all cozy and everything. So what was I gonna say? So Eminem Girls, right? So Eminem wrote this song called Girls on I think this was a D12 track, actually. I believe it was a D12 track. I don't think Eminem cut this on his own album. This was on a D12 track, if I recall, but maybe I'm wrong. Eminem Girls, right? Or maybe that was, no, it is an Eminem track. Yeah, it's an Eminem track. So, or was it D12? No, it was Eminem. So, yeah, so I'm going to read the lyrics of this song because it did change my life a little bit. All my life I thought of Fred Durst as just this badass, even though everybody thought he was a cheeseball, because he was. But he still legitimately cut like 2 really good fucking albums in the new metal scene. So we kind of love him, and they were like prolific albums in the new metal scene. So we like Fred Durst, but Eminem didn't. And so he wrote this song on one of the albums. I don't remember which one it was. And he's like, it's so easy for me to make enemies anymore. It's sickening. People are looking for an excuse to jump on my shit list, sticking their noses in shit that isn't none of their business. I never asked, care, gave a fuck, or wanted opinions. Now I'm in the position that I don't want to be in shit. I never had no beef with you corny son of a bitches. But now the shit is broken. You can't do nothing to fix it. So I'm telling you right now, motherfucker Limp Bizkit. Now I'm a be real. Be real was real. He ain't shit the whole time. He ain't say shit the whole time me and Whitey was beefing. See, he chilled. He was cool with the whole situation and kept it neutral. I'd have never involved my crew if it wasn't for Peoples, whatever your backpack cipher name is. Had I not opened the magazine and see what you were saying, and I'd have never involved you, but you had to add your 2 pennies. Now I gotta go grab my shit list and add some new enemies. Hit the studio and I'll admit I had a few in me. Fuck it, I roasted you. I ain't mad at you any. But let it be known that song was never released. It leaked. I'd have never gave you that much attention intentionally. Then I look onto the TV. Now look who's mentioning me. That little fucking weasel, DJ Lethal on MTV. After I gave you props in that song, you on national TV talking about Everlast is gonna whip my ass when he sees me. Come on, dog. Who was supposed to be on that song? Talk about how bad you hate him. Now you all on his thong. What's wrong? You scared him, Fred? You said it was dissing him too. I should have knew better than to listen to you. You fucking sissy up on stage screaming how people hate you. They don't hate you. They just think you're corny since Christina played you. And I dare you motherfuckers to try to diss me back. That's a sissy act, and don't call me kissing my ass, because I swear to God that this ain't just a song. I'm gonna try to pre-warn you, Lethal, when I fucking see a dog, I'm swinging on you. Motherfuckers must think because I'm in trouble with the law that I won't jaw him up my sentence and double it tomorrow. Y'all some girls. Why do you act this way? And and I realized that this whole thing was this whole crazy celebrity fucking fight. And I saw some of the tabloids about it and all this other shit. I was like, this is how these grown men act. And Eminem was right about this. They act like girls. They don't act like and the wrestling scene was particularly like this. They act like men. And I was just thinking about what I was saying when I was taking a piss. I was like, they act like men. But when they cheat on their wives and sleep with hookers and use steroids and rape the turnbuckle boys or whatever you call those people, the fucking ball boy, they rape the ball boys or whatever. Wrestlers have ball boys too, and they get raped, which is unfortunate. That's something we learned when we were learning about Vince McMahon. He concealed a couple of rapes of the turnbuckle boys or whatever they're called. They're like wrestling hangers-on that do like wrestling stuff for the wrestlers and stuff. It's really bad. And so a couple of turnbuckle boys is what I'm going to call them in the WWF. It's not funny what I'm talking about, but it's just the name turnbuckle boys is actually so funny. I'm sorry. But no, it's not funny that they got raped, though. I'm not laughing about that at all. That is not a joke. What happened to those poor boys and Vince McMahon and all them in the WWF is really fucked up. And so what I'm getting at is they act like hardcore motherfucking Freemasons, party artists that like do nasty, nasty things like grown adult men. But when it comes to their business dealings, they act like girls. Now, this is something that I don't do. I don't know. I think the hardest thing I ever did was drop a gun out of the back of my pants and scare the shit out of a bunch of people. But the softest thing I think I ever did in my whole life is confess to stealing some acid. I don't know. It's sort of weird. It's sort of weird. So I don't really relate to these people. Because I don't do my business like a woman, and that sounds sexist, but I actually respect women more than these guys. It's an insult to these dudes, not the women. Women so women use the social contract to do their business. These men do that too, which is what this guy's talking about. And so they'll act like men when they're like in the wrestling ring and when they're in the bar and at the cigar bar and shit like this. They act like men, but when it comes down to their business dealings, they act like girls. And you're about to hear it. This guy had to have his lawyer like get Vince McMahon to fucking, you know, to like give up the information under threat of law in a courtroom to figure out who fucking stabbed him in the back and then snuck away. And it turned out to be Hulk Hogan, like fucking narked him for wanting to unionize. But I mean, I would have unionized against shitty ass fucking Vince McMahon too. They were pulling like, you know, they pulled like $10 billion or something, but they paid out like $500 million. And 9.5 of it went to like Vince McMahon. And it's like, Vince McMahon wasn't wrestling. And so, yeah, this guy wanted to unionize, and I don't fucking blame him because when they unionize, they still only get like 40%, but they'll get like 40%. You know, like, you know, they still won't even get more than like 40% ever. But I mean, like, still, that's better than the 5% that they got. You know? And if you think about it, shouldn't the wrestlers get about 40% of it, and the producers and the directors get the other 60? Because they make sure the show is paid for, and the show is made, and everybody's got their makeup done, and everybody's got their television shit, and they talk to the networks, and they do the censorship, and they hire the ball boys, and all this other shit. So yeah, they take their 60% when there's a union, but if there isn't a union, they take like 95%, which is what Vince McMahon did and done. And so this guy had to find out. This guy was fucked up by this. He suggested that they unionize, and Vince McMahon found out and fired him. And how Vince McMahon found out was Hulk Hogan. Now, I don't care about wrestlers or their ilk or these problems. It just sucks because in my experience, most scenes are like this, except the drug scene. The drug scene doesn't really brook with weakness. And it's very, very cross-gender. So, like, you know, it doesn't really brook with weakness, I wouldn't say. These guys, they get weak and they stab each other in the fucking back and narc out whoever proposed that they unionize and all of this. And we always wondered how Vince McMahon found out, and this guy had to find out through a lawyer. They're all friends, and they all drink in the fucking bar. They're such girls. They stab each other in the fucking back when it comes to social contract stuff like girls. They're like grown men who actually act like girls, and then eventually when their toxic masculinity shit like hits, and they're like sleeping with hookers and doing cocaine and speed, and they're like pounding steroids to get their muscles and stuff, and they're doing nasty male adult things to get their way, and then they mix that with their business lives, which they conduct like women. And this is one of the reasons why I was never, ever, and plus they dress like sort of like women. They dress like women in leotards a little bit. It's sort of weird. They dress like women too. You couldn't say Hulk Hogan's leotard was very manly. I still don't think so. It can appear manly, I think, to men. But to me, it's sort of like that. The wrestling thing was sort of effeminate, sort of. They're like, the whole thing was about taking off your clothes, kind of. It was sort of weird. So yeah, they've got nice bodies. I'm not saying that they shouldn't flaunt their stuff. I'm just saying that like the whole thing was a little bit like it never did garner my respect, which is fucking fucked up. So I come sneaking in from 25 years after the fact, like watching this video as some kind of bystander, being like, I just never really liked any of these people. You know, it fucking sucks. I never really liked any of these people, and I wish I did, because I feel like I would know more about them. It's weird to find out 25 years after the fact in some Patrick CC video. I'm that scrub who just doesn't know anything about the scene, but I just didn't respect this stuff when I was a kid. I just didn't. I hated wrestling. I hated sports. I thought baseball was fucking boring. I thought NFL was fucking boring. I thought basketball was fucking really boring. Really boring, because they score like 130 points. Who cares about that? Who cares about 130 fucking points? At that point, is it even a game anymore? It was, and like, it was a couple of times in my life when basketball or football or baseball was interesting enough to actually pay attention to, but it was so so boring. It was so boring. Bowling is boring. Pool is boring. Boxing is boring. The shit is boring. Like, you watch it for like 2 minutes and you're like, okay, I get the basic thing. Football is probably the most entertaining one, which is why it was so fucking popular in America, because there's so much shit going on. You kind of feel like you're watching a war a little bit, because there's like 20 dudes versus 20 dudes and they're all moving up the field, down the field, kind of like war. And you're like, oh yeah, football's a little bit deeper. The other games are fucking boring. I struggle so hard to like them. These dudes, like dudes that I would grow up with, I would have to cross the old veritable penis swords or whatever and be like, I've got a bigger dick than you. You get in a dick measuring contest and you know, and you don't want to cross the sword. I never wanted to cross swords with some other dude. I just never did. But I was the king shit motherfucker on the block. I was very loud about it. I was, you know, I was the first dude in my school to lose my virginity. I was the first, you know, I like all this other stuff. I was just loud about it. I lived loud, live loud, Timmy. And like I'm doing right now, I was loud about it. I was fucking loud about it. I was loud. I was the king shit. When I was a kid, I really was. And I slept with the prom queen. I mean, you know, seriously. And like the difference is like, I didn't need sports. I felt all those other men, they clung to sports like it formed their identity. But I had so many identities. I was a gamer. I was a fucking revolutionary dude who was like hanging out with a punk band. I was a punk singer. I was into EDM. I was a raver. I was a driver in the respect that I drove my entire scene around from 3 p.m. until 11 o'clock at night. I drove my car 8 hours a day for all my friends to go to all their houses and everything. I was the driver. I was the instigator. I was the lead singer, so when I told people to do things, they did things. It was kind of crazy. I was the one that got to do acid. I was the one who got them. I took the first hit of acid out of anybody in my school. I was the first one to get them to do shrooms. I was the first one to get them, you know, it sucks, like I can't take total credit for all of it, but it was a lot like that. I brought a lot of culture to my high school because they were private kids and I wasn't. I was a you know, a public school kid. No, I wasn't a public school kid. I'd been in public school from the 6th to the 8th grade, and I bombed out of the 8th grade because at that point I was full blown, like a pack of cigarettes a day. I hadn't smoked weed yet until my freshman year, but like, you know, but I was on my way, you know, and it was like the summer of my 8th grade year. Kurt Cobain had just died 2 years before, and we were just then grasping it, and then it just came, like high school came on like a fucking tornado. It was so annoying. And so, like, I don't know where I'm going with this. It's just sort of like, you know, being out loud like the wrestlers were my whole life, being a lead singer and loud. I had so many interests. The sports, I couldn't relate to it. I couldn't relate to being, like, wanting to be an athlete, really. I couldn't relate to it. I was like, why? It's so fucking boring. You're better off trying to be Neo from The Matrix. You're better off trying to be some kind of Neo in the real life somehow. It's going to be so much, like, less boring than just showing up to some stadium every day and running fucking trials with your homies while they toss balls to each other all day. That's like you may recess your life. I know, I respect it because I'm a video gamer. I made video games my life, and I made it my stream, and I did it. I can relate. I can see it. I see what you want. You want to play balls for a living all of your fucking life and just have your life be a lifelong recess. I get it. I can understand. I'm Peter Pan too. I fucking get it. But the legitimacy that we give to it. And then if you look in the background scene, all of the men in all of these sports, from Lydell to fucking to McMahon to, you know, it just goes on to the Denver Broncos and everybody who's owned them, yeah, Elway and all them. They're all these girls. They all do business like girls. They all stab each other in the back. They all lie about it. They all hide. They'll outdo each other. They'll burn each other on deals, and you know, and it's all incestuous and shitty. And I've never really understood with this. These men don't really treat each other like men. Real men do not fucking hang around in the fucking locker room for, 20 years, form a union and say that you're going to form a union, then bust the union before it ever happens, and then leak it to Vince McMahon, and then get fired afterwards. That's the stuff. That is the sort of stuff that women do in their circles when they do business, because they don't beat the shit out of each other, so they backstab each other, right? Women don't generally beat the shit out of each other. They're not generally known for that. What they do is socially burn people. It sounds sexist what I'm saying, but it's not. I respect the power of it. It's literally gossip. It's the gossip chain. It's word of mouth. It's reputation. Reputation is important. I do not downplay this. I do not undervalue how important women's social structure for our lives actually is, because it just keeps the order. Like, everybody respects their mothers. Everybody respects everybody else's mothers, hopefully, whatever. We talk shit about each other's mothers, but we don't ever actually diss each other's mothers, hopefully. It's just like, let's fuck each other's mothers, fucking each other's moms. Anyways, and we have like these like social rules, like don't kill each other, don't rape each other and stuff that we do violate, but we don't do all the time. We don't violate all the time because there is like social pressure not to do that stuff, because you don't want to hurt somebody's mother's kid. And so, and we do, in that social control and social pressure, I've dealt with it all of my fucking life. And it's weird, because that's the fucking cue that these grown men take. They backstab each other behind each other's backs, like this stuff that Eminem's talking about, where they talk shit in the media or something like that. Like they talk shit, like behind your back.
So does anyone...
Like high school. Yeah, I am uncomfortable with how sexist I've been trying to blame these actions like women are totally guilty like this. It's not like that. It's actually like high school. These grown men, it's not like women. It's like high school. It's really not like women. It's not the correct metaphor to make. It's your analogy to make. It's actually a lot more like high school. It's the he said, she said thing. It's both genders. Like, women conduct business like this because they won't beat the shit out of you outside a bar or something like that. So they'll fire you instead. They'll get you fired, or they'll light your boss up to something that you did or something like that. They'll fuck with you, and they'll tell your wife that you're sleeping around on her or something like that. That's how women do their business, because they don't want to beat the shit out of you. They want to destroy you socially, because social actually is actually more power, believe it or not. Physical can only go so far before a bunch of men just show up and tackle you. Socially, women can destroy you with the entire world, and there's no limit to it. And for instance, somebody like Trump will get their name dragged in the fucking mud to the point where all 7 billion people on the planet know who he is. Even though he's not the president of their small country or whatever, all 7 billion people on the planet might know who he is. This is because the women have their social structures to let the world know what the boundaries are, which is more power and more sage wisdom and more grace. It is. It's just more. It's like we don't do stuff to violate it, because it is the social fabric that keeps us all together. But when you see men act like this, you just call them fucking pussies. Because men don't act like this. We're not supposed to stab each other in the fucking back in the fucking locker room and then go and get narked out to the boss by some pussy. That's not how we're supposed to act. And I've never done so. Now, I've turned in a dude to the cops before and stuff like this, but that was a rapist. You know what I'm saying? There's a fucking difference. There's a big fucking difference. I used him to try to get out of a charge, but he was a rapist and he'd harmed a bunch of women in my community. So I just turned him in trying to get, like, I was like, well, here's 2 things. I can save a bunch of my friends from any more damage, and I can maybe get out of a charge at the same time and get a rapist out of my Colorado community at the same time. It's a triple win, right? And so I used that. Now, that's sort of a girl thing to do, to just narc on somebody behind their back. And this is somebody I'd done business with previously too. Well, not business. I just drove taxi for him for the girls that he liked, and so, but I never did business directly with him. No, actually, I don't think he ever actually handed me money. It was them. The girls always handed me money, But yeah, so but anyway, but now I regret that. What I mean, but I mean, like, I don't know, real man. I mean, no, I think a real man turns the rapist in. I don't think a real man goes and hurts the rapist. I think a real man just turns the rapist in. I'm still sort of conflicted about this. I think a real man goes and beats the shit out of the rapist. But you know, and I hate saying that as I say it, but the real man goes and beats the shit out of the rapist and prevents any more rapes. All I did was just let the cops go do that. I tried to have the cops go do that to him, but they were like, no, not my jurisdiction. And I was like, great.
No one ever tried to, and Vince said, well, I think...
So then I lit him up. I forgot about this, but I did. I lit him up the next day to his jurisdiction, which I had forgotten all about. I went to a payphone on motherfucking Wadsworth. It was Kipling. It was Kipling. And like, yeah, I went to Kipling and I dimed him in his own fucking thing, in his own zip code. I dimed him. Because it wasn't about getting out of the charge. It was about protecting the women.
Jesse Ventura spouted his mouth off about it once before.
Now, I feel like a pussy. I feel like pussy for doing that. But I mean, I wanted him out of my community. He was harming women. You know what I'm saying? It's selfish. Like, a real man solves his own problems. But see, it's not my problem that he's raping women. I don't even know those women. They didn't give me their real names. I don't know them. They're just women in my fucking community. So what, I mean, at that point, I mean, you know, is it that evil to just backstab him like that? Just backstab him. He was an associate of an associate. It was kind of evil, but I backstab him sort of, you know? And I feel some regret for doing that. But the problem is, he was going to continue doing what he was doing. He was waiting for these heroin girls to fall asleep in his hotel room so he could do things. So I stopped him. Or I tried to. I don't know if the pigs did anything. Who the fuck knows? I never spoke to him again, I'll tell you that. Because I figured he might be gunning to me.
So did you hear?
Gunning for me. Got several people gunning for me. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking stupid. I would not be surprised if they just show up at the door, fucking cap me in the face. You know? If it happens, it happens. What can you do? You know? It's like living like Tupac. You know, some punk that I roughed up way back or something just shows it comes back after all these years. Or whatever it is.
Mr. Ventura.
You know, it's stupid. I do live in the fear of that every day. I've got guns, I've got like security, I've got protection and bear mace and all types of shit and dogs and people. I've got warnings and cameras and lasers and shit and buzzers and all this other stuff because like, you know, for no good reason, these people want me. For no good reason. I've never done anything to anyone really. I dropped a dime on that guy, I guess. But I mean, I wasn't the only one in the organization who knew who he was and what he was doing and didn't like him. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the only one who knew what he was doing. It was only a matter of time.
No. Well, then how do you know he did?
My friend A really didn't like him. My friend A did not like him. I think I never told her what I did. I wish I could now. I could probably tell her now. You know, I actually dropped the dime on I'm not going to say his name, but
with no hesitation, Vince went home.
I could tell her now. It's been 8 years, no longer 10. Yeah, it's been 10 years, something like that. I could tell her now.
Hogan told me.
My God, it has been 10 years. It's been 10 years. I was 34. Jesus Christ.
And I didn't show any emotion.
And honestly, I doubt anything happened either. I doubt those pigs did their job. Who knows? It's a mystery for the fucking ages. I don't want to know. I'm just going to leave it with I did the right thing.
But I almost
did the pigs do their job? I mean, I don't know. In my experience, the answer is no.
Over in the chair. Because he was my friend.
They didn't do it the first time I tried. I doubt they did it the second time. They can't just go drop on a dime. They can't just go drop on a dime anymore. I think their balls are more clipped than that. I really believe this. I think their balls are more clipped than that. I don't think they can just go when somebody phones somebody. I think it's got to be more than that. There's got to be probable cause. Just word of mouth isn't good enough anymore. Just some phone call isn't good enough anymore, I don't think. I called them up and I was like, yeah, I have met about 6 women as a taxi driver who's meeting this blah blah person at blah blah hotel in blah blah room at blah blah number who's been there for blah blah 2 years or something like that. And I didn't turn state evidence, but to me that is turning state evidence. And I was like, I have heard the personal testimony of like 5 or 6 women who I've driven who have told me that he is a rapist who likes to touch them when they're sleeping. And I was like, I don't know what you can do with that. I'm not going anywhere near him. Have a nice day. And I hung up.
Greetings.
I forgot all about that. The second time too. I only remembered the first time for a couple of years, but yeah, when the first time when they told me jurisdiction, and that was way later. It was way later too. It was like 6 months had passed, and I was like, how many women has he raped? It was like way later, and I was like, when they finally got around to me, and they had me meet him in a fucking truck, and like they met me in a truck by fucking Voodoo Donuts on Colfax and shit. These two pigs, they were detectives, and they were like, we heard you have something, and I was like, yeah, I've got something, and I want out of my piece of shit lower than a gram charge, so you don't fuck me on a 10-year probation violation. And they're like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll drop it. Yeah, what do you have? And I told them, and they're like, not our jurisdiction. Get the fuck out of our car. And I was like, oh, great. And so then yeah, like 4 days later, as I recall, I went out to Kipling to his zip code where it mattered. They needed the phone call from his area code. So I called from his fucking area code. And he lives far too. I had to drive to do that, as I remember. Yeah, it was way out to a hotel, way out in no, he was further. He was in, where was he? I had to drive for an hour to see him. Where was that? It was, I don't remember where that hotel is anymore. I have the address, but I don't remember where it is. It's somewhere. It's Boulder? I want to say Boulder. I did so many rides, I can't keep it straight. Was it Boulder? I think it was Boulder. I think I rolled him in Boulder, which is a bad place to get rolled because they have money. So they have like fancy lawyers and stuff. Like, anyways. I don't know. I don't like telling these stories, but I mean, it is true. So like, in having conducted business like a girl, I dropped a dime rather than dealing with the man myself. But I mean, you're not supposed to deal with rapists and murderers yourself. You're supposed to call the cops. They actually frown on it when we act as, as vigilante Batmans. I've already acted as Batman enough in my life. You know, I've acted as Batman enough in my life. I have hunted police and shit like that, rapist police, and I've acted as Batman enough in my life. I really have. We're not supposed to do that. I did what I was supposed to do. And if I could gain something from it, more power to me. You know what I'm saying? This is what criminals do to each other. They narc out. It's fucking stupid, but it is true. Like, your homies will use you like fucking fuel to fuel the rocket that gets them off the prison moon, you know? They will. They'll use you like fuel. They'll use your career, and they'll narc you out to the fucking like the narcos. Like, they'll just narc you out. I know I did it to that rapist. I full-blown narked him out. But, I mean, like, it had nothing to do with the drug business. He wasn't a competitor with us. He wasn't even in the same city and shit. It was to protect the women, which is fucking stupid, you know? Like, that's another thing about it. I didn't feel like it was an underhanded act because I didn't gain anything from it. I didn't even know those women. You pick up enough crying women from the same place, you kind of get fucked up about it a little bit, you know?
And I thought, but then I understand why. Like, when we went to court, I saw in WrestleMania 3.
Oh, what's this now? What are you doing? I think it's the lossless scaling is like messing up. So unscale. Yeah.
Hogan got paid more than all of us combined.
Yeah, like that, and that's why the union needed to happen. That's ridiculous. I mean, now that's where the talent is, yeah, but I mean, like, that's ridiculous, though. Everybody does their part for the organization. That's what an organization is. That's ridiculous to pay one person more than the other. I mean, yeah, he was putting more butts in the seats, yeah. So you pay him, you know, he can negotiate a better contract, but I mean, more than all the other guys combined. Why? He's not that good. That's probably why the rest of them weren't that good.
Now, why would he want a union?
Yeah, why would he want a union, of course? So he narked you out. And this is how grown men do their business. Most of them. The drug scene isn't usually like this. But usually it's pistols and stuff. But like, you know, but like a lot of other scenes are. Hollywood is like this. I think factory work is like this. I think police are like this. I think the army is like this. I think celebrities and entertainers are like this. They're catty. They act like girls. Like, and I don't mean women. I mean this song "Girls," where a bunch of fucking famous people just start stabbing each other in the back and using like their social like value to like burn each other and all this other shit. And it's just, you know, and I'm sorry, but I really don't like this aspect of the men around me who act like this. I've never had patience for this type of bullshit. I don't like haters. I don't like going out of the way to mess somebody up. I don't.
When he's getting taken care
It's
of.
your life's too short for you to waste your fucking precious time going after somebody else. Just worry about yourself.
Then again, many wrestlers of this era, like Greg
I guess Hogan was worrying about himself when he turned this guy in.
Valentine, say he was a great guy.
It's weird because you see these politics, like, to me, it's like it doesn't even matter that they're wrestlers. I think most people watch this because they were wrestlers and they like watching wrestling. But to me, it's to learn what not to do, you know? That's why I'm watching this, quite literally, to learn what not to do. Don't be like Vince McMahon. Don't be like Hulk Hogan. Don't be like these people, you know? Damn it, you're so annoying.
When I was wrestling in Florida, when he was still playing the guitar at a band, I met him there. So we always, he's a mellow guy and he likes to smoke the.
It's weird because
you don't like getting drunk and crazy and all that.
You kind of look. No, wait, go back. You kind of look like a cross between Leisure Suit Larry and Fabio, and I don't like it.
Just a
Leisure Suit Fabio. Clown. Leisure Suit Fabio clown. And that's wrestlers for you. Yeah. Like Leisure Suit rodeo clowns. I don't know any rodeo clowns. No, sir. I don't dress like any rodeo clown.
real nice guy.
You dress like a rodeo clown, Fabio. I'm sorry. Leisure Suit rodeo clown Fabio.
Down to earth.
See, this is why I don't really like, hang around humans, because I've got that cutting wit. And I like the immaculate burn. The immaculate burn where it, and I'm sorry, but his Leisure Suit Fabio ass, it was immaculate. It was beautiful. I don't like the way you look with your gold pimp chain and your black Leisure Suit shit and your Fabio hair. I'm sorry, but it just looks like a bunch of people threw a bunch of money into the zoo. Or, I don't know, a beach somewhere where Fabio's singing. Wasn't Fabio on the beach all the time or whatever? I'm sorry, but these men.
Along with that type, and my wife.
They're not Mike Tyson. They're just not Mike Tyson. They never been.
Wife Julie, who I'm still married to now, my wife, beautiful wife Julie, and Linda became really good friends. So.
Nothing could slow down Hogan's dominance, and his reckless actions would lead to his first major controversy. During an interview in 1985, he choked out TV.
You're going to learn a lot about sociality from this. This is how people are. For anybody in my channel who's young, this is what you should expect from everybody that you know right now that you call friends and all this, or acquaintances, or people at school, or people at work, or that kind of thing, or maybe you work at the McDonald's or something, whatever. This is what you should expect. All of this catty shit. This is how humans are. This is the it's all about the he said, she said bullshit, right? I think you better quit talking that shit.
Richard Belzer, causing him to lose consciousness. Then he dropped his unconscious body to the floor, where he split his head wide open and required an immediate hospital visit, where he received 9 stitches.
Called a front shin lock.
He broke him?
Keep like that for a little while.
Wow, you gonna break his neck or what? He broke his neck, huh? Jesus
Hogan
Christ,
must have
Hulk,
forgotten
did you kill
that
him?
he wasn't in a script. He choked.
Still married to now, my wife, beautiful wife Julie, and Linda became really good friends. So.
Nothing could slow down Hogan's dominance, and his reckless actions would lead to his first major controversy. During an interview in 1985, he choked out TV personality Richard Belzer, causing him to...
No shit! It's Richard Belzer. Yeah, he's the guy with the glasses on Law and Order SVU. Yeah, he's one of my favorite guys on SVU. He's the conspiracy theory cop on SVU. Richard Belzer. Yeah, he wears the dark sunglasses and stuff, probably because Hulk Hogan probably choked him out, and now he's got lazy eyes and stuff.
Lose consciousness. Then he
probably because Hulk choked him out. He probably had to wear sunglasses for the rest of his life because he probably had lazy eyes and stuff.
Dropped his
It's fucked up.
unconscious body to the floor.
Yeah, Hulk choked this guy out. He did not like Richard Belzer, huh? What did Richard Belzer do to you, Hulk? Show me on the doll where Richard Belzer touched you to the point where you need to choke him out in front of a live audience and leave him writhing on the floor. Like, I mean, show me on the doll, Hulk.
Where he split his head.
Yep, and this guy tapped out. You're a wrestler. This guy just tapped out. He just tapped out. It means he's lost consciousness. He tapped out, and he's now he can't see anything anymore. He's blacked out. He's just lost in a fog somewhere, and he's blacked out, and he's stopped resisting you, and you need to stop immediately.
Head wide open and required an immediate hospital visit where he received 9 stitches.
9 stitches for what?
Called a front shin lock.
Oh, you could hear his bones break, I think.
How about it, T?
What do you mean stitches?
Keep him like that for a little while.
Keep him like that for a little while. You guys have done too much cocaine.
Hogan must have forgotten.
What the fuck? Why the fuck did you choke out Richard Belzer? It's Richard Belzer! He weighs like 95 pounds! What the fuck?
That he wasn't in a scripted wrestling match.
It's Richard Belzer!
Putting a man half his size in a chokehold was incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, what? More like a third of his size. Hulk's got to be, what, 280, something like that. What's Richard Belzer? Probably 140 soaking wet.
Dangerous, and it's surprising he only needed a few stitches.
Yeah, what? And stitches for what? I didn't see any cuts. What stitches for what? Stitches are for cuts. What cuts? I'm thinking broken neck, you idiot. Did he have a broken neck?
Belzer ultimately...
Or like, you know, broken like discs in his neck and stuff. What stitches? There was no cuts or blood. Stitches are for blood and cuts. What?
He sued Hogan and they settled out of court.
There's no stitches in that fucking injury. This guy didn't. Hulk Hogan did not break this guy's skin. You misquoted. I do not see any bleeding. No blood dripping or anything like that. There's nothing here that requires stitches, I don't think.
Keep him like that for a little while.
Hogan must...
Yeah, that man, he's got to be 140 pounds maybe. Why did you choke him out? Oh, yeah, look, he's got to be about 140 pounds soaking wet. He's like maybe 5'5", maybe 140 pounds, something. Why did you choke this dude out? You're triple his size. You're double his size.
Hogan must have forgotten that he wasn't in a scripted wrestling match. Putting a man half his size in a chokehold was incredibly...
Wow, I don't like Hulk Hogan anymore. Why did you choke out Richard Belzer and Hulk Hogan?
Dangerous, and it's surprising.
What the fuck happened here? Hulk Hogan. I'd have never liked Hulk Hogan because the name doesn't roll off your lips. Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan. You can't say it 10 times fast. Hulk Hogan. 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 It's really not that natural of a name.
Did a few stitches. Belzer ultimately sued
Hulk
Hogan,
Hogan.
and they settled out of court. But the incident
Yeah, how much did you pay him for this? $15 million or some shit? This is probably why we have Richard Belzer on SVU. It's insane. It's always funny. Life is always stranger than fiction. It's almost always stranger than fiction. I just don't know. I don't know why life is like this. It just is.
arguably just made Hogan seem more lethal, adding to his brand of being an unstoppable warrior. Then something extremely rare happened. Hogan lost a match. He lost the WWF World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh yeah, it's Andre the Giant. Yeah, didn't Andre fucking check the oil?
Championship to Andre the Giant.
Yeah, he checked the oil.
At this point, it was only the second.
You guys know what checking the oil is? I know what it is, and I wish I didn't. Thank you, wrestling, for teaching me what checking the oil is. It's when you, in the wrestling match, you take your thumb and you check your opponent's oil. Get it? Checking the oil.
Second time he ever lost. Even though technically he didn't get legally pinned, the referee just wasn't paying attention to him lifting his shoulder. Plus, this was, of course, pre-planned to make Hogan look like the underdog for their match at WrestleMania 3, where Terry wrote the entire script for the match himself.
In WrestleMania 3 at the Pontiac Silverdome, did you call it or did he call it?
I wrote it all down on a piece of paper for Vince, and Vince gave it to him.
Oh, now, hold on now. So you were afraid. You would testify now that, I mean, you physically were afraid of him because, I mean, he...
No, I wasn't afraid of him, but he was in just so much pain that, we really weren't sure. Vince came to me the night before. We really weren't sure the way the finish was going. So I said, let me write down a plan A Hulk Hogan match. It'll blow the roof down out of the place. So Vince took out his big yellow pad, his big yellow notebook pad, and I wrote down center of the ring. He pushes me, or I push him. I can't remember. I go, he throws a punch. I block it. 1, 2, 3 punches. Go to pick him up. I fall backwards. First time I've ever done it in my life.
Hogan finished the match by picking up the 6'10", 400 or 500 something pound beast and slammed him.
Everybody knocks me for this on the internet, and everybody always just says BS. But the honest to God's truth is they weighed him in. They always said he's the 500-pound Andre the Giant. But we weighed him at the scales.
Yeah, what was he that day? Probably 375?
Baggage claim in Detroit. When we came to Detroit, he was about 6. Yeah, he was about...
What was that? Oh, I DC'd? No, I didn't DC. Oh, that's okay. Just start streaming.
Entering system. Atikva's choice.
Yes, start